Guys ready for the 2023 Atlanta Falcons NFL Draft? We are. So let's not waste time. Let's just get right to it.
With the 8th pick, Atlanta Falcons select
Myles Murphy, defensive end, Clemson. Murphy's a big boy. He's 6'5", 275 pounds, and coming into this draft was one of the most highly touted defensive ends in the draft. Since the combine, things have changed. His stock has fallen, which means he could very well fall down to the Atlanta Falcons, which would be a huge pick for them as they have no defensive pass rush whatsoever. The last defensive end they had that was even worth their salt was John Abraham. It's been a long time. So the Atlanta Falcons need to really put a lot of emphasis on that defensive end position. You also have to consider now with our new defensive coordinator, the Falcons should be going back into a 4-3 defense, which means the defensive end is going to be critical.
the Atlanta Falcons select
Adetomiwa Adebor. I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly, but once again, we focus on the defensive end position. This guy had an outstanding combine. He came out, he ran in the 4.5s, just had an excellent combine. He is a good defensive end that was projected to go probably near the 3rd round. I do believe he has moved up, and hopefully he'll still be there when the Falcons pick with their number 2 selection.
Atlanta Falcons select
Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver, LSU. Kayshon is a great receiver that unfortunately didn't have the Joe Burrow effect, so he didn't shine as much as people would have liked to have seen. But don't get it wrong, that is a great receiver there and would be a perfect number 2 receiving option for Atlanta across from Drake London.
Atlanta Falcons select
Alex Forsyth, guard, Oregon. With the Falcons re-signing Chris Lindstrom, this doesn't become a huge need, but it is very required depth. Now on the other side of the line, at the left guard position, the Falcons have had a lot of issues. So this pick would make sense to start priming someone to step in and take over that role that badly needs to be filled.
Atlanta Falcons select
Darius Rush, defensive back, South Carolina. At this point, the Falcons have yet to address the opposite corner currently for A.J. Terrell. Now, he's the only corner out there. Cam Haywood has not been re-signed. So there's a lot of question marks at the cornerback position. This could be addressed in free agency, but it definitely needs to be looked at in the draft.
Atlanta Falcons select
Ryan Hayes, offensive tackle, Michigan. The offensive tackle position is something the Falcons do need to look at very seriously. Currently, you've got one guy who's been a foundation for over a decade who you're not sure if he's going to be able to maintain much longer, and on the other side you have Caleb McGarry, who you may need to either re-sign or let go. But either way, depth at the tackle position is another important need the Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons select
Keandre Coburn, defensive tackle from Texas. Texas is known to put out some pretty good defensive linemen. This is something the Falcons do need to address. However, they did so through free agency by signing the ex-Saint David Onyemata. But depth is a need, and it would be a huge thing to grab somebody who's over 340 pounds to plug them in on rundowns.
And a Falcons select
Jonnu Smith. The Falcons traded this pick already. Therefore, there's no need for a selection at this point in time. That pick has been traded for a second-string tight end to back up Kyle Pitts. For a 7th-round pick, it's a good deal. Now, I'm not certain of the contract that Smith will bring over with him, but Kyle Pitts is going to be up for a contract extension here in the next couple of years, so we need to be very mindful of the tight end position, which is why I believe they went out and grabbed Jonnu Smith. After the March 13th free agency day that the Atlanta Falcons had, this draft will only improve that defense that is in bad need of improvement. The Falcons went out and signed Jesse Bates III from the Cincinnati Bengals to play safety, David Onyemata from the New Orleans Saints, Caden Ellis, also from the New Orleans Saints, to play linebacker, as well as the acquisition of Jonnu Smith that we previously discussed. I believe the Falcons are bringing in these Saints players to help new defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen install his defensive scheme, which is smart. I won't lie, it does hurt a little bit. I'm not a big Saints fan, and I'm not real particularly happy that we're bringing in the enemy, but hey, we brought in Joe Horn and Bobby Hebert. We can bring these guys in as well. Closing, I hope you guys enjoyed this mock draft. We'll see how it plays out. You never know. A lot of this is just speculation, but I really do hope that the Falcons have an opportunity to land not one, but two good draft choices at the defensive end position. And if they draft a corner, I won't be upset about that either. But we'll see. Until next time.